Good morning, guys. Options Trade King, Ice King here. Get started off this morning. Voice getting a little better. Went to the doctor yesterday. Put me on some drugs. Hopefully, I'll have my voice back. Hopefully, tomorrow I'll be a different person when you guys chat with me. All right. Futures. So, I told you guys yesterday. Right here, right? Told you guys this was pre-market. I told you this leader line was going below the zero line, which was going to drag these MACD leaders below, these MACD signal lines, I'm sorry, below. They crossed below, and I told you guys it was on a support line. It looked weak, and we fell. Okay? We got a bounce, and then the downturn continued until just this morning we had a breakout. So here you can see the channel. This was an official breakout. What I would expect from here is, so just so you guys know, whenever you want to know, like, if you guys don't know how to do a, if you guys don't know how to estimate like what a breakout is going to lead to, right? You guys ask like, what's the target? Well, here's your first target. Your first target should be the height of the channel that it breaks out of, okay, at the breakout point. Now look at this. That takes us right to this resistance line. I mean, like I said, guys, you know, I've told you guys, some of you guys have been watching me for a long time. I did take a break from doing the videos for a while. We're back at it full swing, but I love charting. And it's just because this stuff all works, right? So I would estimate that in the next couple of days, you know, before this weekend, I mean, we're going to at least go and try and reattempt. We're going to go back and try probably reattempt towards the previous highs. Now, will we break out past that? Or will we get a triple top and reverse? Then we see. Okay. I want to show you guys another one I was looking at this morning, AMD. Okay, I just want to show you guys a couple things. One. So now here's on a bigger picture, right? Here's a big wedge that broke out. But this breakout was from August 23rd back to, you know, it started forming back here August 4th. So it's been going on like 3 weeks. Okay. Now, I traditionally, that's a big move. It'll take weeks for that to form, right? So what I'm going to propose here in the short term is we go to like where these last 2 points touch. So we're going to grab that height. Okay. So we'll go from like right here down. We'll put it at the point of breakout, right? And I mean, I guess even maybe a little bit further back, but that's right where this height got to. Okay, we broke out of this, and it took from the, like I said, this wedge was forming for 3 weeks though. Okay, August 20th till, let's see right here, August 27th. So it took 1 week to hit this first price target. Now, just another one to look at real quick. We'll zoom in because you can do this on all levels of the chart. Here is another entry point. Okay, we were in a downward channel. We broke out, and you want to know, I mean, so I already measured the height right here. So we take that and we put it right where it broke out. And look, that's right where that's right where we broke out to. Okay, maybe a little bit higher there, but I suppose actually need to move that down a little bit. And this one up just to here, those top points. So there's that height, and that's exactly where it broke out to before consolidating and breaking out further. Okay, your second price point would be the height of the flagpole, which would be from here down to this. All right, so here's the flagpole, there's the flag. So your second price target would be right there, which has us, you know, coming up at some point. It looks like it's going to, I mean, if the second price target hits. Now, this has not been a great swing market So be careful, because I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. All right, but I'll leave those on my chart. We'll come back to them and look. I was looking at Best Buy this morning. I was going to show you guys on a bigger scale picture here, right? So let's go to the hour chart. Because on this one, we have a much bigger wedge that was forming, which actually that's, right there to right here, we had a wedge forming, okay? Let's measure that height. We had a breakout right here, and look at that. It got a little bit above it, but it pulled right back. But that was our first price target, and it hit. Oh, then we see. But all right, I'm gonna go talk to you guys about ARK real quick. On Monday, I told you guys that I thought ARK would pop on Wednesday. This does not, just so you guys know, this is a little disclosure, okay? This will not work on every stock. I was playing a little bit of charting here and a little bit of anticipation. So, ARK is a big fund, right? That's buying a lot of big tech. So a lot of Wall Street investors, big money, invests in ARK. Okay, it's not just traded, whatever, it's an investment. A lot of these big investors use daily scanners. So they're looking for different things on the day scanners for them to put long-term investments in. Okay. One of those is what's called the golden cross. And that's when you have the 20 up crosses the 50 EMA. And it can be assigned for a long-term reversal. All right. So on Monday here, the red and the green, the red is the 20, the green is the 50. Now, I told you guys Wednesday because when you have a daily scanner, it goes off of previous day close. Now, my lines right here are going off of the day's open so that we get a little bit of an advanced warning. So scanners didn't go off until yesterday morning. And that is what I was counting on. So if you had taken a call at the end of close on Tuesday, right? Thought I was going to pop Wednesday, anticipating this cross up. And look at this large, buying block right here. Now, there were some other factors that worked because that won't happen every time. Some other factors that contribute to that are we had a recent 200 EMA recovery. So in the last week or so, we had touched the 200 EMA. That's another great thing because that means that the stock's had a healthy pullback and is ready for continuation now. I love 200 EMA recoveries and bounces. So anyway, we had that. But that is why on Monday I told you guys I thought that this would pop on Wednesday. And like I said, if we had taken that call, a weekly call on this, 121 call or 122 call, you probably would have spent somewhere around $1 and it would have been a 300% gain at open. Because we had it, at close, it was, let's just do the average here, but on that day, it was like around 121.50, right? Right here, 121.70. And we got up to 124.70. So we got a $3 jump on a weekly call with only a couple days left for expiration. That would have been a really nice gain. I used to do this all the time with these. But like I said, you can't use that on every stock, guys. It works on some stocks. And there's some other factors to look at. Like I said, we also were having an EMA. This was just perfectly set up. We were getting an EMA squeeze. We had just recently recovered the 200 EMA. Some other great entry points on this would have been right here because we broke through all these strong resistances. They came back. We tested for support and it held. This would have been a good entry right here. Also, if I was swinging, I would have probably entered right on this day. Okay. Or back here. Like I said, there's lots of different ways to play this. You could have played it right here, but I would have been very careful. I might have even bailed when it got a new lower low and then re-entered. You might have lost a little bit of money there, but you would have been okay. And it's always good to not panic sell either, right? We had I believe there's a verified support here. Yes, there is. verified support line that was down here. So you could have waited to see if this was going to hold, even though it was a little below the 200 EMA. We could just wait to see if that support was going to hold if you had entered in like right here for a swing. All right. So there's a couple stocks. Let's go look at Apple. Apple's had a nice big climb. Here once again, right? Let's look at the last couple days here. Here was a support line. Here was our wedge. We broke out. Height of the wedge from its point right there to here, right? At the breakout, look at that. Right where it stopped. That's because the reason charting works is because everybody uses it. And if you know how to use it right, you know where to put your sell points and you know how to predict where things are going to go. Okay, but here's one of those ones I've told you guys about. I just said it yesterday in my guru thoughts. This market is a tough market. It has been since March. Don't get me wrong. We have some very talented traders in here, but I call this a hard penny market. There's hard pennies and easy dollars. Okay, hard pennies is because, like you look at NASDAQ, right? Like, let's go look at the SPY real quick here. Let's just go look at the SPY. Look at this right here. Right down here in the corner, the bottom right. We are at all-time highs of the SPY. But yet, some of the SPY's biggest leaders are not all-time highs. And they're not, they're just not going up and up and up like the SPY is. You can't trust the indexes right now. They're not an accurate representation of what is going on in the market. And I firmly believe that WB caused this, okay, the Wall Street boys. But the hedge funds had to change up their game. They had to change their algos and how they work. And I think one of the ways they're doing that is they're buying up the indexes themselves and not the underlying stocks, which is causing the indexes to not accurately represent what is going on in the market. I told you guys this the other day, but I'm going to actually try and play this next month or this month to see if it happens again. But real quick here, look at this. May 15th area, May 19th, we touched the 50 MA. June 18th, we touched the 50 MA. July 16th, 19th, so it was a weekend, right? We touched the 50 EMA. Every month, like clockwork, that doesn't usually happen. Okay. But since May, it's been, which, like I said, that just means to me that someone is manipulating this and taking, they're taking profits and then market. It looks manipulated to me, but that's just my opinion. Can't say anything for certainty, you know what I mean, that's actually happening. But at some point here, looking at, so I have a couple trend lines drawn here. You can see how this trend line right here, how up until March, this trend line was heavily in play, right? So since June of 2020, you can see it hit as resistance here, broke above it, came back down, landed on it for support, broke through, but we've been, and then the whole way up right here, right? It kept bouncing on, well, that was the 50 MA and this trend line. But here recently, we're starting to gap away from that trend line. I'd imagine at some point here, we'll have a correction and come back down and touch that again because we haven't touched it since March. Either that or we need to adjust our trend line from here, right? And do something like that. But we're not on a healthy growth. You can see how the trend line keeps being altered here. It just keeps getting steeper and steeper. And guys, I'm not saying panic right now because I don't think it's going to happen anytime in the near short term, but there's just no way that this can sustain forever. It's not realistic. Okay. So going back to the ES real quick, let's look at what we need to be positive today and to stay positive. I think we have a chance here, but I would like to see, we need to hold here. We broke out. I'd like to see this hold above that breakout point of 45.27, right? If we break below that, we'll come and test the trend line right here. And that may happen. We may come back. I mean, because we just had a breakout, a traditional breakout. If you guys go look it up on, go Google, where to enter on a breakout, it's going to tell you that when you break out, it comes back and bounces on the channel and then takes off. It would recommend that your entry be right there on the bounce. But in this market, that hasn't always been happening. So we have to adjust a little bit. I personally, if I would have taken this, I would have entered it on this breakout right here out of the channel, and then have this be my stop loss. And then this would be my price target. This, somewhere right here on that 45.40. 45.40 would be my estimated target. Okay, any stocks you guys want to look at? What do you think about CAR? Let's go look at it. You know what? It's funny. Yeah, carrier, that's cool. All right. Another story, another time. So it looks, let's see here. We've got a channel forming here. Either a channel or a flag. Honestly, on this one, I don't see a real breakout point yet. What I'd like to see for what do you got for CAR? What do you got or carrier? What do you got what are you thinking for a timeline? So in the short term, I'd like to see it hold this support zone right here, which, the 90 EMA is right here, but even just a little bit below the 90 EMA, you can see that we have a support area right here. I'd like to see it hold that. And then I'd like to see a breakout above 57.97, or let's just say 60 or 58 bucks. I'd like to see a break above 58 to see a continuation go on in the short term. Okay. Really what we could be seeing here, we just so here's one of those, and I've told you guys, you gotta be careful. So here we had a wedge forming, and we had a false breakout. Okay. And this is happening all over the place in this market. That's why you gotta be careful. It made it about 50% up the breakout of the price target, and it sold and reversed. Okay. But then on this next breakout, hang on real quick. Okay, you can see your next level here. Next time it broke out, though, it even got a little higher than that. Well, I guess I gotta go down that price right there. I didn't measure that quite right. So there to there will be your height. And once again, so right there at the point of breakout, right? And that is right where our first price target hit before pulling back. So that breakout worked, but this breakout didn't. And that is the problem in this market. Nothing is consistent right now. Okay, so this is looking good. I would just like to say it is in a downward trend at the moment on the 15-minute chart. But if we can stay above and hold this 9 EMA, we'll start going positive again. It'll start rotating back up, and we'll see this keep continuing up. Nice to see there was a big buy candle at the end of the day yesterday. So we see and then we see. Etsy. Etsy should be a fun one. Hey, I had drawn this up just the other day. So look at this. So we had a breakout, we came back, and we're touching right here on this small breakout of this wedge that formed. This would be actually like by the textbook, this would be the entry point as long as it holds. If it fails that line of 216, like say 216.40, then you would exit because it's probably going to come down and get EMA support. You can see how this wedge formed, right? We came back and we touched it, but there's also, like I said, I just love how charts work. So we have a support line there on that trend, okay? And you can also see that right where that ended up at right there is also this support line, or this resistant line. So we broke out of it. We came back and we're touching that. No matter how you look at this, like I said, I love charts. Okay. But yeah, this is looking, it's looking good. Here's another similar one. Okay. So just like what we looked at with kind of with ARC, excuse me, still losing my voice. We had a recent 200 EMA touch, and then we got an EMA squeeze. Now we didn't get the golden cross because the 20 never down crossed the 50. We did get a 9 that up crossed the 20 though, which probably helped a little bit on some scanners. But 9 up crossing the 20 is not a real. That's more of a swing trader tool, not a long-term investor tool. Okay. When I look at that 20 up crossing the 50, I was looking at that because that's like a long-term investor tool that where they're going to buy a bunch. You went in at 55. On carrier. Okay, let me look at that real quick. You went in at 55. Oh yeah, you did really good. So you did it right here. That's perfect. You took this breakout. It worked out. Yeah, guys, I don't know what your how long your call is, or if you're holding this as a stock, or or when your expiration is. But I would try to make sure. I would hate to see it come back and touch if it fails the 9 EMA, I'd hate to have you see it come down, touch a 20 EMA, and lose all those gains. But right now it looks good. All right. So once again, Etsy's looking good, guys. At a breakout point, and it's on a point of where, like I said, you would normally this would be another entry point. If you'd already been playing this, and you took profits, on this breakout, if you took profits on this gain, this would be a point where this would be a spot right here where we maybe roll some of those profits and re-enter. Okay, as long as that price holds. All right, Roku. All right. Once again, we had a lot of these stocks. So, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. Here, the SPY is at all-time highs. Okay, and a lot of these stocks we're looking at are not. That doesn't make sense. Like I said, the market is not. How many stocks have we just pulled up here in the last 10 minutes, and they've all had 200 EMA touchbacks or pullbacks? That's signs of a healthy market. But the SPY is saying that things should be all just soaring, and they're not. All right. Now this this breakout is more than what was probably expected. So here, there would have been your channel. Here's your support. So it was getting wedged. Okay. Hit this breakout. We take that height. And look at that. Once again, right to where it went before pulling back. Okay. So this is pulling back. That's nothing bad. We also, along with this, guys, right, those pullbacks, but I tell you guys all the time, we break through a resistance, you almost always come back and touch for support. Okay, so I'd imagine this needs to gather strength because it's got the 150 EMA to get through still. So it's going to be a little bit choppy. Here you can see the last time, right, hit the 9 EMA, came down again, tested again, it failed. And we also broke the 20 EMA, came back up, retested the 20 for a resistance, it held, pushed lower, We failed the 50 EMA, touched the 100, retested the 50. It held, it pushed lower. We failed the 100 EMA. And then we came down and we touched the 200 EMA, touched it again, but this time the support held and we reversed. And now we're trying to go positive again. Okay. So like I said, on a 15-minute chart, this is looking good. We had the 50, we touched the 200 EMA here recently. This has got a little bit of work to do, but I think this could go positive again. We just got to watch it break through these different support line or resistance lines and make them become support. If you were to buy Etsy calls it open, where would you set your stop loss? Hang on. I guess it depends on my expiration and my how long out I am. I recommended you guys the other day. I really probably wouldn't take. I personally, okay, I'll just say that way. I personally would not take calls right now unless I was going to day trade. I would do. If I was going to try and day trade, I'd do tomorrow's calls. I'm not taking next week's calls. That's what I'm staying away from because we have the holiday week. It's a short week. We don't know what's going to happen over that 3-day weekend. Biden could get out and say something stupid. It could hurt the market. You'll get a lot of scare, a lot of scare with that. So I would personally look at the 17th is what I'd be taking calls on. So if I was going to take this on the 17th, I'd probably do maybe I'd look at the different prices and look at the deltas and stuff, but look at 220, maybe like a 220 or a 222 call. And my stop loss would be this right here, that 216.20. And give me 30 seconds here, guys. My son's standing here. Sorry about that. My son stopped down. Okay. Anything else you guys want to look at here quick? That's where I'd set my stop loss. I'd have my stop loss right here. And if it fell below that, I'd exit that call. You have plenty of time on it. So, we're going to know here today or today or tomorrow if it's going to hold. I'd still also recommend caution. Market's been so green. Things are so overextended. Look at the NASDAQ. 1 second here. No, that's not what I want. Here we go. Nope. There we go. All right. Look how much, in the last, we are just up so much on the NASDAQ. We're at all-time highs. We're heading into a holiday weekend. We failed this first support yesterday. How's this doing? I just worry about we're going to get a pullback is all, I guess, with the 3-day weekend coming up. So just play light, I guess. You exercise caution. That's what I would recommend. Anything else you guys want to look at? Otherwise, we can just look at a few other stocks. I can show you guys, more of, just like we're kind of looking at now, but just how this stuff all works. Here was a breakout, right, of a downward. So here we had a descending channel. You can see it plain as day. Okay. Let's look at the height of this channel. Put it right here. And that's right where the stock stopped on its breakout. Okay. And that's how you get your first price targets of a breakout. That's how we traditionally swing trade. Yes, we can do Tesla. I've not done Tesla. Okay, so just looking at some recent charts here. I just want to show you guys the same thing, right? Okay, but here is a wedge that was formed. Get that height. And that's right where, once again, our breakout went to. Okay. Came down, touched 9 EMA, and now we're up here. So crucial levels for Tesla. One is we're getting some new highs. We got some support right here. So this is a moving adaptive support algorithm I have, but what it's looking for, and it's not always accurate, here it nailed it. But here in the recent, right, we have a verified support right here. So in the short term, I'd want to see it hold that. For a breakout, I'd like to see a breakout above 742, 742.50. And let's just go back here. I'm going to go to the hour chart. What do you have for Teslas? What are you, how far out are your calls? Or is there a certain time length you're looking at? Bigger picture real quick. Like I said, I just want to show you guys how this works on all levels, okay? Here we had another wedge. Damn it. Measure the height of this. That was on the hour chart. We did not quite get there, but pretty close. And that is where we're at right now on this one. But, I mean, so this one didn't quite hit that price target. I went a little high there, though, didn't I? Right there. No, that's still about right. Yeah, so it didn't quite reach that price target. But like I said, you guys get what I'm saying. It came within, $7.27. It came within $7 of what the price target would have been. And another good point here, I told you guys also, if you look at the hour chart right, you would normally look for this touchback. You break out, you come back down and touch, and that's, textbook entry. So, I mean, really textbook entry would have had you enter on this pullback right here. It didn't quite come back and touch the wedge, but yeah, anyway, so we are at a new breakout point, okay? You can see that we have this verified support here line here now. We're just breaking above that. So what I would like to see on Tesla in the short term, I'm going to still go back to the 15-minute chart for short term. And that's right where I just do that line again. So yeah, so I'd like to see that 726.50 hold. And I'd like to see a breakout above 742. I'd like to see a break above 742 to see that continue to rip up. Okay, which looks like we might be happening here. I mean, we're consolidating sideways. Let's look at some of our other indicators. So here you can see it. I mean, it actually looked like it was getting weak. If this can't hold the zero line, like here you can see it broke, but it got back up. But that was that quick breakdown right there. If this can't hold the zero line, we're going to go and touch the support, either the 9 or the 20. Okay, so I'd like to see that hold go back up on the zero line this morning and pull back up. Otherwise, it's going to go for lower. Oh, tomorrow expiration on Tesla. Yeah, so man, it's honestly watch it open, but it's we're getting a little bit of a wedge forming here. Okay, I'd watch for this wedge and watch for a breakup or breakdown, because if it does break that wedge, right, your price target in the next, if it breaks out, let's say it breaks out right here, 750, 751 would be our upside potential. If it breaks down, we're going to go down and test that 9 EMA at 717. So I just watch for those levels, draw that on a chart and watch to see, and keep an eye on it over the next day. See what happens. XLU. So XLU just had a breakout. Once again, you can see it was trading in just really a horizontal channel. We broke out. Oops. And that's right where the price target got to. Okay, so we hit price target 1 for a pullback. Now it'll consolidate for a little bit, and then we see. Okay, will it come back down and retest this for support? It's very possible. Otherwise, you've got resistance right here at $70. Okay, that'd be your short-term resistance on XLU. Anything else you guys want to take a look at? Like I said, I love charts, guys. I love going over this. Like I said, I love how no matter how you look at it, there's so many different ways to look at charts and they all work. Here's another wedge that formed. Or actually, that's wedge, downward channel kind of. We measure that height. We go to the point of breakout, which would have been right here. And look, that's right where the price got to. It's just no coincidence that this works, guys. I mean, there's so many traders that use this. The more you educate yourselves, the better you can be. You don't have to guess. You can anticipate what other people are going to do. That's how we win. We adapt. And you got to think about this too. When you're playing options, okay? I mean, despite what memes, have got us to believe, not everybody wins playing stocks, okay? For you to make money, somebody had to lose money. So to be a good trader, you need to be better than 90% of people out there. That's how you make money. Okay. And last year was an easy dollar market because we just climbed and climbed and climbed. And now we are not. Like I said, the SPY climbs and climbs and climbs, but individual stock names are not. And that's what is important to realize. Okay. Look at Amazon real quick. Amazon 200 EMA or 200 EMA recovery. Told you guys I love that. Here we were getting wedged and formed up against that 20 EMA. It got enough power and it broke through the 100 and the 50. Came back and briefly touched the 50 and we kept ripping. Now we're coming back and we're touching this support line right here. Okay. Once again, here we were forming a wedge. I'm sorry. Yeah, wedge right there. Okay. So there we were forming a wedge. I'm going to measure that height. And that is right where it broke out to on his breakout. Okay. Once again, now we're reversed and we're touching right here. This is potentially a good entry for a continuation if it holds that price, but it needs to hold the 34.76. Okay. If it breaks below that, I'd be scared of a reversal and we're going to come back down and retest these again for support. Okay. Anything else while I'm here, guys? Otherwise, I'm going to review just a couple more names and we're going to call it a day, right? You guys can get to it. BA. Excuse me. Here we lost the 200 EMA. When we lost it hard. I would honestly be looking for, I'll keep an eye on Boeing, but I'll be looking for this. I'll be looking for that 200 EMA recovery when we get there. Here's an example. Okay. What is that trend line off of? Oh, here's a big channel I drew. I drew this a long time ago. Here's a big channel that, let's go to the hour chart and I'll show you guys this. You can see I have a lot of charts drawn. The nice thing I liked about TradingView is it keeps everything I've ever drawn. Okay. So here you can see, I mean, this goes back. I probably drew these back somewhere around here, back in June. I just drew them out. But look how we've been playing this channel. Okay. Here I showed you, this is an old video I'm sure I did, but here was a channel height I drew, and that was the first price target, and that's where it hit. Next price target would have been this longer flagpole right here, which I bet if I draw it, okay, so like right there, okay, there's your flagpole, and look at that, right to where it hit. That would have been price target number 2. Okay, but now we're in this descending channel, so honestly, I'd be looking for a 200 EMA recovery And at some point, we'll be looking for a breakout on this channel, and we'll do a long swing on it. Okay. What's another one I wanted to show you guys? I was looking at, oh, here, Costco. I did this one a long time ago. I had a Costco call here back. I took it right here back in March. Okay, but we had this strong pullback back in March, and people didn't believe me because we were way up here at like 350, right? And I was like, I think it's going to pull back all the way down to the low 300 because it looked like it was going back it needed to touch that trend line. And that trend line is like a 5-year trend line that it's on. Sure enough, I took a August call. I sold it here last month, but it was up like 800% when I got rid of it. Maybe more than that, because we bought 380 calls, and you can see we have been on a straight climb, and I held on to it because I had so much time left. Didn't post an exit because I knew nobody else had it still, so we just didn't post an exit. But like I said, guys, you can look at charts on all different scales. You can look at day charts, and that's how Steady Lit trades. Steady Lit is trading off of day charts, okay? And he's just playing. He's taking calls off of probably, I would have to guess, the 5 and 15-minute chart, maybe even the 3 and 5-minute chart. Okay, whereas if you're doing swings, you want to look at like maybe the hour chart, half hour, 15, 45. The charts you look at just depend on how far out you want to look at your plays. Okay, and what your price targets are. But if you have a breakout, sometimes these little pullbacks don't matter as much because that's just part of it. You hit a first price target, and you can either stay in it and ride it out, or you can take a profit and re-enter. It's up to you guys. But there's so many different ways to play stocks, or you can roll it. I know Steady Lit rolls a lot of his plays. Rolling is a very great technique. If you don't know what it is, you can go to our education tab or strategy tab channel and read a little bit about roll-ups. But we have it there. I also have this Trading View script or a similar one. It's not this exact one. I'm going to be doing another class on this one, how to read it. But I do have a video on another one I have. This one's modified slightly since that one, but the other one still works. It's in the education channel, and you can have my Trading View script with my custom written scripts that I have. All right, guys, have a good day. Talk to me in chat if you need me.
I hit recorded, drop you.